Hello YouTube, this is DJ's O-Gauge Trains. As you can see, I have taken apart my DM&IR steam engine and it is here in pieces. And the reason why I took it apart was because I wanted to see what was going on with the chuffs on this engine. Got a couple of videos of it up on YouTube already, and as you've probably heard if you've seen the other videos, when I had it in the 4 chuffs per revolution mode, it wasn't chuffing correctly. So I took it apart to see what was going on. Just so you know, before I took this apart, I called the place where I got it from and let them know what was going on. And I actually played phone tag with the technician for about a week, but I finally got a hold of him, and we were able to talk about the engine a little bit. And he kind of enlightened me on how this 2-4 chuff mechanism down here works, and it enabled me to figure out the problem, which is cool. And it was actually a really simple problem. I actually didn't have to dismantle the locomotive like I did, but I'm glad I dismantled it because now I see how everything works and runs, and I understand it a little bit better, and I will be able to paint and detail it like a lot easier now. There's some scratches on it and stuff like that, which is not uncommon for these, high-end, high-detailed brass models. So you can see some scratches there and little areas that need some touch-up paint. So I got some flat black that I'll fix that with. I've also got some white to do the wheels. Wheels. Especially on the tender, some of the white on the wheels is coming off, so I'll need to touch that up. But in any case, what I want to show you is the 2-4 chuff mechanism. So right over here is a switch. You could see that little switch. I've moved it over so it would be 2 chuffs per revolution. Now I'm going to put it back to 4. So what you got is 3 wires. You can see the yellow one, which goes to the cherry switch that enables 4 chuffs per revolution. Then you got that brown one running back to the tender, and then you've got a tan one there running to the 2 chuffs per revolution. So, and if you look in there, you see those 2 white tabs there? Underneath those tabs is a cherry switch. So there's one there on the left side and one on the right side. And one of those cherry switches, the one closest to me, is geared up for 4 chuffs per revolution. That means it hits the white tabs 4 times on 1 wheel revolution. And those cherry switches are geared right into the axle. And then on the other side, you've got one that's geared up for 2. So it'll hit the white tab twice. And then that green wire there, which is connected to both switches, runs back to the tender, and that green wire is for the sound, so that you get the 4 and the 2 chuffs. So when I was running the engine, on the 2 chuffs per revolution I had no problem. On the 4 chuffs is where I had the problem. So let me just move that brake pad off the wheel. There we go. So what was happening is it was missing a chuff, as you've heard in the other videos. So, and what the problem ended up being, at first I thought it was a bad wire, but the wires look good. So it doesn't seem to be any bad soldering joints with the wires. But what the problem ended up being was the plate underneath here holding the axle in was loose. So what I needed to do was tighten it down. And so tightening that down enabled the cherry switch to actually be tightened in with the axle a little bit. So when it was hitting up against the white tab, every now and then, especially on the curves, it was missing the tab. So that's why it wasn't chuffing. So I'm going to take the front set of drivers here and I'll show you. See those screws there right underneath the pickup roller? If we come to the back, there's another set of screws. Those screws were loose, and there was a lot of play, a lot of give, and it was preventing the engine from chuffing properly. So that was it. And if you watch other YouTube videos of third rail products, it's a common problem. I've heard it on several other engines. Even on some of their product demonstration videos I've heard it. So that's an easy fix. And if it's not that, if the plate is tightened down, then you want to check your soldering joints. And you also want to check the switches themselves. They screw into the axle, so your screws on the switches might actually be loose too. So there's a number of simple fixes for that. So now that that's fixed, before I turn the engine on, I'll give you a tour. So here you have the gigantic Pitman motor. This is their quiet drive mechanism there, the belt that runs from the motor down to the running gear. So rather than the Pitman motor being directly connected to the gear, you got this belt here, and that is supposed to keep the gears quiet and make everything quiet. So, and it does. I don't hear it when it runs. So that's cool. We come around to the other side, you'll see the speed control sensor. There it is. So the way that works is there's a red LED that'll light up when the sensor is reading the tabs, and you got the black and white stripes over there, or tabs. They're read by a laser, and that laser is right there. Pretty cool. So, a couple other things I'll show you quickly, and then I'll turn it on and let you hear it chuff properly. This is the trailing wheels. If you notice this piece here, this connects to the tender, obviously. This is the drawbar, and I want to get the tender a little closer. So what I'm going to do is drill a second hole right around there, right before the drawbar dips down. And I'm going to move this whole thing back. There's plenty of room so it won't hit the wheels. So I'm going to move this back, and then these two little switches here, 1 and 2, those two little tabs or switches, whatever you want to call them, they're going to live on this side, 1 and 2. And they'll still have the same purpose, which is to prevent this drawbar from going all the way to one side. But they'll be back here instead of up here, and that'll enable me to get the tender closer. So that's one modification I'll do, and I'll obviously still have that hole here, so if I ever want to resell the engine, you can move the drawbar back to where it was. And then also my super chuffer came in. There it is, still in the bag. But what I've decided after seeing some demonstrations with this super chuffer is I think it would serve a better purpose in my Q2 duplex that I haven't upgraded yet. So I'm going to be going with the ERR upgrade for sound and speed control for that engine. I won't get 4 chuffs per revolution, but I'll still get a great speed control, and it gives you pretty close to 3 chuffs per revolution. It still looks good. So with the super chuffer installed with that system, it'll look very close to how these more prototypical 4 chuff per revolution engines work. So I think that's what I'm going to do with it. And because the DM&IR steamer already has synchronized chuffing smoke, so I don't see the need to install this. The only other feature I would get is Rule 17 lighting, and steam engines didn't have Rule 17 lighting, so I don't really see the purpose for that. And the cab light goes on and off when the engine starts and stops, so that's pretty cool. But once again, you know, is it really needed? In my opinion, I don't think so. I like having the cab light on when it's running so that I can look and see all the gears and the hand-painted detail in there. So that's just my preference. So, but here you go. I'll turn it on, and I'll let you hear it chuff properly. Don't mind that little piece spinning around there. That connects to the front driver. It's not going to hurt anything. It's hitting up against that little white wire connector there. So as long as I run it slow, it won't hurt nothing. Now coming on to straightaways from curves and vice versa is where it was missing the most. So let's see what happens as we come onto the straight track. Perfect. And we're back on a curve, and we did not miss any chuffs. And there you go. So that's it. It's fixed. So like I say with their products, you got to be willing to troubleshoot a little bit. You got to be patient with them. Sunset Models, Golden Gate Depot, they make excellent products, but right out of the box you got to do some troubleshooting. If you're afraid to take your engines apart, if you're afraid to investigate how they work and the electronics and the mechanisms, I really wouldn't recommend their products, only because you're almost going to have to take them apart at some point and see what's up with them. But if you like to tinker, if you don't mind doing that, I highly recommend their products because they're fantastic. They're the most realistic looking, prototypically accurate model trains on the market for 3-rail as far as I'm concerned. So great engine. Glad I got the chuffing working right. So I'll paint it, put it back together, and we'll do some more videos with this engine down the line. So DJ's O-Gauge Trains, thanks for watching, take care.